The silent stars. Admiral Chen Zhang stood at the viewport of Lunar Command, her dark eyes fixed on the blue marble of Earth hanging against the star-spattered void. After 30 years of service in the United Earth Defense Force, she had learned to trust her instincts. Right now, those instincts were screaming. "Show me the anomaly again," she ordered, turning to face the holographic display dominating the command center. The air shimmered as quantum computers reconstructed the signal their deep space arrays had detected 12 hours ago. A massive object, moving at speeds that shouldn't be possible, had dropped out of what their sensors indicated was some form of faster-than-light travel at the edge of the Kuiper Belt. "Multiple contacts now," Admiral Lieutenant Rivera reported from his station. "We're tracking 7 distinct vessels. Formation suggests a military configuration. They're maintaining position just beyond Neptune's orbit." Chen nodded slowly. Humanity had prepared for this moment for over a century, ever since the Great Silence. The puzzling absence of alien radio signals despite countless habitable worlds. Scientists had theorized that something or someone might be actively suppressing interstellar civilizations. That theory had driven humanity's expansion into space along a unique path: silent, careful, and always ready for conflict. "Status of the Ghost Fleet?" she asked, referring to Earth's automated defense platforms scattered throughout the solar system. Each one was a technological marvel, equipped with quantum-encrypted communications and weapon systems that could tear apart matter at the subatomic level. "All units responding. Shields at maximum. Quantum entanglement network is stable. They haven't detected the platforms yet. Our metamaterial cloaking is holding." The Admiral allowed herself a small smile. The aliens, whoever they were, had no idea they'd just walked into humanity's carefully prepared killing ground. Every asteroid belt contained hidden shipyards. Every outer planet's moon housed automated factories and defense systems. Earth itself was protected by layers of defenses that had consumed the resources of an entire planet to construct. "New signal." Admiral Rivera's voice cracked with tension. "They're broadcasting on all frequencies. Universal Translator is processing. It's a first contact package." The holographic display shifted, showing elaborate mathematical sequences followed by simple pictographic communications. The message was clear: "We come in peace. We wish to speak. We bring civilization to the stars." "How diplomatic of them," Chen murmured, "to bring a war fleet to a peaceful first contact." She straightened her uniform, decision made. "Send our response package." Standard Protocol 7. Around the solar system, thousands of previously invisible defense platforms shimmered into view. Automated factories beneath the surface of Mars, Europa, and Titan powered up, revealing spacecraft construction facilities that dwarfed anything the alien fleet had brought. The Ghost Fleet deployed in perfect synchronization, surrounding the visitors in a 3-dimensional web of overwhelming firepower. The human response was simple: mathematical proofs demonstrating their technological capabilities, followed by detailed scans of the alien fleet, showing they could see through every attempt at concealment. And finally, a clear message: "We know why you're here. We've been waiting. Choose carefully." "They're receiving our transmission now," Rivera reported. "Energy spikes across their fleet. They're charging weapons." "No," Chen corrected, watching the alien ship's power signatures fluctuate. "They're trying to charge weapons, but they've just discovered their systems aren't responding. Quantum interference fields are holding." She had spent her entire career preparing for this moment, gaming out every possible first contact scenario. But now, watching the alien fleet hanging helpless in space, surrounded by evidence of humanity's careful preparations, she felt only sadness. They could have come in true peace, could have approached as equals. Instead, they had come as conquerors and found themselves outmatched by the very primitives they had hoped to subjugate. "Send the second part of the message," she ordered. "Let's show them what cooperation with humanity could look like, if they're willing to adjust their perspective on their place in the cosmos." As the data streamed out, Chen returned her gaze to Earth. Humanity had evolved in isolation, forcing them to innovate along paths no other civilization had considered. Their solitude had bred strength, their challenges had forged determination, and their paranoia had birthed preparation. Now it was time to see if they could forge something greater than conflict with their new galactic neighbors. But this time, on humanity's terms. Paper tigers. High Commander Vextrol of the Galactic Confederation felt something alien coursing through his neural pathways. Fear, his flagship, along with 6 of the Confederation's most advanced warships, hung powerless in the void. Their quantum drives, shield generators, and weapon systems had been disabled by technology that shouldn't exist. Analysis complete, High Commander, his science officer reported, mandibles clicking nervously. The humans' technology, it's unprecedented. They didn't follow any of the standard development paths. Their quantum manipulation abilities exceed our own by at least 3 generations. Vextrol's outer membrane rippled with distress as he studied the holographic display showing the human defenses surrounding his fleet. Each platform wielded enough firepower to vaporize a small moon, and their sensors had detected hundreds more hidden throughout this single star system. "Show me their transmission again," he ordered. The message appeared before him, elegant in its simplicity. Mathematical proofs demonstrating humans' mastery of physics their own scientists had barely theorized, followed by detailed scans revealing they could see through every piece of stealth technology the Confederation possessed. "Sir," his tactical officer interrupted, "we're detecting massive energy signatures from their inner system. Multiple shipyards activating. Production facilities larger than anything in Confederation space. They've been building out here for decades, completely hidden from our long-range surveys." The High Commander felt his species' equivalent of a cold sweat as he realized the true scope of humanity's preparations. The Confederation had spent millennia guiding younger species, ensuring they developed along predictable technological paths that posed no threat to the established order. But humans had evolved in isolation, driven by challenges and paradigms the Confederation had never conceived. "New transmission from their command center," the communications officer announced. The holographic display shifted, showing details of human scientific achievements. Clean fusion power, practical quantum computing, gravity manipulation technology that made the Confederations look primitive. But most importantly, it showed proposals for cooperation and trade, offers that could revolutionize both civilizations. "They're not destroying us," Vextrol realized aloud. "They could eliminate our entire fleet with a thought, but instead they're showing us opportunity." His tactical officer's exoskeleton rattled with agitation. "Sir, our long-range quantum communicators are still being blocked. We can't contact the Confederation Council." "Good," Vextrol replied, surprising himself. "Because what I'm about to do would probably be considered treason without proper context." He straightened his posture, decision made. "Open a direct channel to their command." The holographic display shimmered, revealing a human female in a crisp military uniform. Admiral Chen Zhang of the United Earth Defense Force regarded him with calm professionalism. "High Commander," she greeted him. "I trust you've had time to review our capabilities and proposals." "Indeed." "Admiral," Vextrol responded, choosing his words carefully. "I must admit, your technological development is unprecedented. The Confederation has never encountered a species that evolved along such unique paths. Isolation breeds innovation. High Commander, when you can't rely on anyone else's help, you learn to solve problems in creative ways." Her expression remained neutral, but there was steel in her voice. "The question is, can the Confederation adapt to a galaxy where they're not the only advanced civilization, where cooperation might prove more beneficial than control?" Vextrol felt the weight of history pressing down on him. The Confederation had spent millennia as the undisputed masters of known space. Now, in a single day, that certainty had been shattered by a species that had turned their isolation into strength. "I believe we can adapt, Admiral," he replied carefully, "though I suspect the transition may be challenging for some members of the Council." "Change often is," she agreed, But consider this. We've revealed only a fraction of our capabilities. Imagine what our civilizations might achieve together if we approach each other as equals rather than conqueror and subject. The High Commander studied the human's face, seeing not the primitive his people had expected to find, but a representative of a civilization that had prepared for this moment for generations. They had built their defenses not out of fear, but out of prudence. They had developed their technology not to dominate, but to ensure they could never be dominated. Very well, Admiral, he decided. Let's discuss how we might begin this new chapter in galactic history. As equals, the archives. Senior researcher Ziraval hunched over her workstation in the Confederation's Sino-History Department, her crystalline form pulsing with agitation as she reviewed the human historical archives. What she found defied everything she thought she knew about civilizational development. World War I. World War I. Cold War, she muttered, watching humanity tear itself apart and rebuild stronger each time. They reached their moon while still pointing nuclear weapons at each other. Impossible. Her assistant, Cathor, projected data streams across the laboratory's curved walls. Their technological progression is exponential. Look at this. They went from primitive combustion engines to antimatter containment in less than 2 centuries. No other species has ever developed so rapidly. The archives revealed a species that turned adversity into advantage. Every conflict pushed their technology forward. Every crisis sparked innovation. They had colonized their solar system not through peaceful expansion, but because they feared they might need somewhere to retreat if Earth became uninhabitable. New data packet from the diplomatic exchange, Thor announced. They're showing us their colony worlds. Ziraval, they're not just in their home system. They have self-sustaining settlements in Alpha Centauri, Ta Ceti, and by the founders, they've reached the Trappist system. Ziraval's crystalline structure nearly shattered from shock. The humans had achieved stable faster than light travel decades ago and kept it hidden. They had spread to nearby stars while maintaining perfect communication silence, building redundancy into their civilization without anyone noticing. Their development path, she realized, it's all wrong. We assumed any species would follow the standard progression. Achieve unity, then reach for the stars. But humans. She gestured at the historical footage of lunar landings achieved, while nations still threatened each other with annihilation. They never achieved perfect unity. Instead, they turned their competition into a driver for progress. The walls filled with more data, human genetic engineering advances that made the Confederations look primitive, quantum computing architectures that operated on principles their scientists hadn't imagined, and weapons technologies that could unravel the fabric of space itself. They're not showing us this to threaten us, Cathor observed. They're showing us because they want us to understand why they can never be subjugated. They've spent their entire history preparing for threats, both internal and external. A new transmission appeared, detailed scans of human neural architecture. Ziraval's crystalline form vibrated with excitement as she processed the implications. Humans hadn't just developed different technologies. Their very minds worked differently, shaped by millennia of overcoming challenges that would have destroyed most species. Send an immediate report to the Council, she ordered. Classification. Paradigm shift. The humans aren't just another species to be guided or controlled. They're what happens when you force life to evolve without safety nets, without guidance, without limits. They're what happens when you leave intelligence alone with its own demons long enough to either destroy itself or become something new entirely. As she prepared the report, Ziraval couldn't help but wonder how many other isolated species might be out there, evolving along their own unique paths. The galaxy suddenly seemed a much larger, more complex place than the Confederation had ever imagined. Parallel evolution. The Confederation Council chamber fell silent as High Commander Vextrol presented his findings. The massive amphitheater, designed to showcase the Confederation's power and unity, now felt suffocating under the weight of recent revelations. Humanity's isolation was not a disadvantage, he declared, projecting a holographic timeline of Earth's development. It was the crucible that forged them into something unprecedented. They faced extinction-level events without external aid. They survived climate shifts, pandemics, and nuclear brinkmanship. Each crisis forced them to innovate or die. The council members watched as simulations showed human technological progression alongside standard Confederation development models, where guided species followed predictable paths. Humanity's progress resembled a chaotic web of interconnected breakthroughs. They never discovered the quantum resonance principles we use for FTL travel, the science minister observed. Instead, they developed something far more efficient, localized space-time manipulation. They don't push against the fabric of space. They fold it. Their weapons platforms don't use particle acceleration like ours. The defense minister added, mandibles clicking nervously. They developed quantum destabilization fields that simply unmake matter. No energy shields we possess could stop them. Vextrol nodded grimly. But most critically, they developed these technologies because they assumed they were alone. They built redundancies into every system. They established colonies expecting to lose contact with Earth. They designed their civilization to survive catastrophic failures because they had no one else to rely on. The diplomatic feeds showed current images from Earth, massive arcologies housing billions in comfort, orbital rings supporting space elevator networks, and shipyards that could produce vessels larger than small moons. But unlike Confederation worlds, every human city contained hardened bunkers. Every civilian habitat included military-grade defensive systems. They're not paranoid, Vextrol continued. They're prepared. Their history taught them that survival depends on readiness. Even their entertainment media for the past century focused on scenarios of first contact gone wrong. They've been psychologically preparing their entire species for this moment. The council chamber erupted in debate. Some argued for immediate military action before humans grew stronger. Others advocated for technological exchange, hoping to guide humanity toward more civilized development paths. You don't understand. Vextrol cut through the chaos. We're not in a position to guide them. Their parallel evolution has taken them past us in crucial areas. The choice before us isn't how to control humanity. It's how to coexist with them. He displayed the final piece of data. Long-range scans showing evidence of human quantum signatures near other isolated potential civilizations. They found others like themselves, species developing in isolation, and they're watching, ensuring we don't interfere. We're not the guardians of civilization we thought we were. We're just one path among many. The council chamber fell silent again, but this time with understanding. The galaxy was changing, and the Confederation would have to change with it. The agreement. Admiral Chen Zhang and High Commander Vextrol sat across from each other in Earth's orbital diplomatic center. Through the viewport, representatives from a dozen isolated civilizations gathered, species that humanity had discovered and protected while remaining hidden from the Confederation. The galaxy changes today, Chen stated, activating the holographic display between them. The Confederation's monopoly on interstellar civilization ends, not with war, but with cooperation. The display showed the proposed new structure, the Galactic Concordat. Independent species would retain their autonomy while sharing knowledge and resources. The Confederation would gain access to human technologies, but had to acknowledge the right of isolated civilizations to develop along their own paths. Your people took quite a risk, Vextrol observed, revealing not just yourselves, but others you've been protecting. What if we had chosen conflict? Then you would have faced not just humanity, but 7 other species who evolved in isolation. Each with unique technologies, different solutions to the same problems. Your standardized tactics would have failed against such diversity. The documents were ready. The Confederation Council had already ratified them, recognizing reality. Their age of uncontested dominion was over. Humanity had changed everything not through conquest, but by simply surviving, evolving, and helping others do the same. Sign here, High Commander, Chen indicated. to acknowledge that the galaxy is larger than any one civilization's vision of it. As they formalized the agreement, screens showed celebrations across Earth and her colonies. Humanity had achieved first contact on their own terms, transforming potential conflict into cooperation while ensuring their independence. A question, Admiral, Vextrol asked as they concluded. Why reveal yourselves now? Why not stay hidden longer? Chen smiled. Because isolation served its purpose. It made us strong, innovative, self-reliant. But the greatest human achievements came from cooperation, from combining different perspectives to solve impossible problems. We're ready to help build something greater than ourselves, as equals, not subjects. The new era began not with surrenders or ultimatums, but with a simple agreement. Every civilization had the right to find its own path to the stars, and in that diversity of approaches lay the true strength of intelligent life. Earth's announcement to its citizens was equally simple. We are not alone. We never need to be alone again. And we will face tomorrow together, not just as humanity, but as part of something greater, while remaining forever free to forge our own destiny. The stars had changed from a source of uncertainty to a field of endless possibility. Humanity had turned its greatest weakness, isolation, into the foundation of a new galactic order. Not through force or dominion, but through preparation, innovation, and the wisdom to know when to extend a helping hand to others walking the same lonely path to the stars.